So what is the best way to use test packs? Well, hello and welcome to this Fotospeed video with me, Tim James. Today what we're going to be looking at is test packs and my kind of top tips for how to use them. We've all probably used test packs to kind of evaluate papers and have a look and see kind of which papers we like and which ones we prefer and subjects and things. However, it can be a little bit hit and miss because there are so many papers to choose from in here. It can be a little bit daunting as well. And if you get a bit of a bundle deal like we do at shows and things, or you get the Harlem packs and things, there are so many papers and you think, well, where do I start? Well, I've kind of done this video to hopefully kind of help you to get started with test packs and find out the best way to kind of use them and also get the most value out of them as well, because the idea is we want to find out how all these lovely papers work and which ones will work best with our own images. So there's only a limited amount of sheets in here, 2 or 3 sheets of each paper in each pack, depending on which ones you have. So we do have to be a little bit careful with what we're doing, but hopefully after today's video, we'll have a better idea of how to use these packs and the best way and to get the most value out of the papers included. But before we get into that, let me just say, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just click that subscribe button down the bottom. So please also don't forget to sign up to the Fotospeed newsletter, which we release every week as well. And we focus on different products and different discount codes and things in there. So it's well worth subscribing to that newsletter as well to get some special offers and keep up with all the news from Fotospeed. Also, don't forget to download the Fotospeed Art of Printing, which is a free ebook from us here at Fotospeed. So all you do is go onto the Fotospeed website, tap in your email and name, and we'll send you a link and you can download the PDF and have a read through. The ebook covers everything from, say, turning on your printer, to profiles, to framing, to mounting, to bookmaking, absolutely everything in between. Well worth downloading for anyone who's starting out kind of printing, but also anyone who is a seasoned printer but just wants a little bit of a checkup just to make sure they're on the right path and things. So really quite proud of it. So please just download the Fotospeed Art of Printing. Okay, so let's dive in to test packs. Okay, so where do we start? We've got all the test packs here. Now we offer here at Fotospeed, we offer 4 test packs. We offer a photo range test pack, a matte smooth, which includes like our smooth cotton and platinum cotton and such. Also a matte textured as well, which includes like our cotton etching and platinum etching and things, which is kind of a bit more of a textured paper. And also our fine art glossies, which are the brighters and the gloss art fibres and legacy and things. So there's quite a few to choose from. So if you buy all 4 of them and get them as kind of a bundle, then it can be a little bit daunting first of all, of where to start, because there's loads of kind of papers in here to choose from. And usually what we don't want to do is dive in and waste any of the sheets and think, well, actually, I really like that paper and I want to try this picture on it. But I've used all my sheets up, so I'm either going to have to buy a new test pack or we're going to have to buy a box of paper, but you might not be too sure and things. So we need to kind of avoid that. Now, I would say the best place to start with test packs, to be honest, is going to be our photo range of test packs. This includes papers and kind of our everyday type of papers. So if you are going to get a test pack, probably, and you're a bit unsure of which ones to get, I would say probably the photo range is probably a good place to start because it's going to give you an overview. We've got the Matte Ultra in there, which is a matte paper. And if you wanted to look into matte papers a little bit, the Matte Ultra is a great place to start. Really cost-effective paper, and will produce some really, really nice prints quite easily as well. You don't have to do too much work to it. Now, you've also got, say, metallic papers in there if you wanted to have a play. But also we've got the lustres and glosses and pearls in there as well. So it gives you a good grounding. I like to call these, like I said, the everyday papers, because these are the good grounding papers. These are the papers that work really well with most subjects, to be honest. If you print any subject on luster, it's going to look good, or pearl as such. Most subjects will look pretty good on all of these papers. They're going to be a good stock and a good kind of base to start from. From there, what we can do is then look at, you think, well, I want to explore, say, the fine art glossies a little bit more. So we could then go into different test packs, like we've got the glossies and the mattes and things in here. The one that's a little bit different, perhaps, and you have to take a little bit of a punt on, is perhaps the matte textured test pack as well. Because in the photo range, if we bought that, we haven't got, say, a heavily textured matte paper in there. So this is the one that can catch a few people out. But however, I will show you some little tips further on in the video of how we can actually kind of look at that and address that issue. A nice easy one though is if you're liking your lusters and pearls and such from the photo range of test pack, the easier one to go to is probably the fine art glossy test pack, because this will kind of build on what's in the photo test pack. And it's the next step, shall we say. These are heavier papers. The blacks are deeper because of the brighter content and things like that. Really great place to kind of move up to. Then I suppose we get into the murky world of matte papers, which can be a little bit of Marmite. Some people love them, some people hate them, some people kind of a little bit in between, I suppose, but it gets a little bit murkier because there are so many of them. Our matte smooth test pack contains a good 7 papers now, so there's a big choice in there, but they do contain 3 sheets of each of the papers to give you a good opportunity to try the papers. Now, my biggest tip with test packs is, first of all, don't print on them. First thing you need to do is, if you've got all of these test packs, you can be very, very spoiled and have a look at all the papers. But the best thing to do is to get the papers out and actually sit there at your desk with the papers and touch them and feel them. And basically think, oh, I like the feel of that. I'm going to put that in my try pile. And we do this with all the papers and we go through the packs. Don't worry about getting them mixed up. Every paper in our test packs and Harlan Müller's and Canton's test packs are marked on the back. They're all stamped, or they've got a label on the back so you can identify which papers are which. And it gives you a really good understanding of which papers you like. And you'll probably be quite surprised actually by the choices and the kind of ones you pick. But that will very quickly filter down the papers you would like to try. Now, when we actually get to the point of being able to try the papers, we're at a point where we've got a decision to make. Now, we can either sacrifice a sheet of A4 in the test pack and have a custom profile made, or we can use the generic. Now, I would always say use the generic. Download it off our website or Harlan Müller's website or Canton's website, depending on the test packs you're using, and give it a test. But also, if you're using black and white, use the black and white mode of the printer, because that should give you a really good idea of how things are going to look and how things are going to perform on certain papers as well. So we're not looking for the most perfect print on the papers included in the test packs. What we're looking for is an idea of how something's going to look, and if a texture is going to look right, or if, say, the smooth cotton is going to just bring down the contrast a little bit too much for me, and I need something like the NST Bright White just to hold it a little bit more. Also, we'll look at the warmth of the paper as well, and it's just to give you an idea of how something is going to print and if it's going to work with your work. I am a very strong believer, now this is very controversial, I've said it in other videos as well, it's very strong believer that most pictures, probably 99% of pictures will look good on most papers. They look okay. Well, they look okay. They look reasonable on any paper, to be honest. If you print it on the luster, the smooth cottons, they all look reasonable. They look good. As long as the picture's good, obviously. But what a paper can do is it can make that print look amazing. And that's where the right paper choice can come in. And it's probably the hardest choice. And that's where test packs are really useful as well, because you can try different papers and have a look and find your own way. However, like I said, you're limited on sheets. So another little tip I've got is, if we've got an A4 test pack and you've only got 2 sheets, say, in the photo range, now I have to say this a bit quietly because the sales guys don't hear me, but just chop it in half. Have A5s. Or put 2 pictures or 4 pictures on each one. Bit of a different subject. So if you are you're a landscape photographer and you've got the lush green of a rolling hill, or you've got a sunset, and then you might do a bit of street photography as well, you could very easily in Lightroom or Photoshop or whatever you're using, just put 4 pictures showing your different subjects. Could be the best pictures you think you have at the time, a lovely landscape, a street shot, a black and white seascape, a sunrise or something, and you could pop them in each one and print it off and see how it looks and see if that suits it and things. Use the paper that you've got most economically. Chop it down into A6s if you want to, but probably use them and pick that paper that's going to work best. Normally I say don't worry about the custom profile just yet, because we're not looking for perfect colour and perfect shadows and things on test packs. What we're looking for is if you like the feel, if you like the black point of the paper, if you like how the warmth of the paper just brings everything up for you. So it's well worth just using these sheets, quite all of them, if need be, and do different images and lay them up, say 4 or 5 images on each page, just to have a look and just to see what works best for you, because we're all going to be different. I could go through these test packs and I will pick 3 or 4 papers which will be completely different to probably everyone watching this video, to be honest. Suppose rules of averages say there must be a couple that we'd all pick the same, but generally we will all pick something different. I quite like the PF Luster as a paper, as a photo range and everyday type of paper, but I know the majority of people swear by the Pearl. I don't know why, but that's a little bit of a difference there. And things like that. I love the platinum etching, but some people like the platinum cotton and things like this. So there's going to be differences, and we're all going to be different as well. So it's very much a point of sitting down and choosing which papers you think you like and which ones you think work for your pictures as well. And test packs are a great way of doing that, but it's about getting the value and the kind of the best value for experimentation out of these packs. And the best way to do that is to cut them down or do different pictures on the sheets. So really, those are kind of the best ways, I think, to use test packs. So don't worry about profiling them. Just use the generics or the printer's color management even, just to give you an idea of how a picture's going to look. Like I said, we're not looking for perfect color on test packs. We can sort that out when you've actually decided on a paper and bought a box of it. But the generics should get you close enough, and they should also give you an idea of how things are going to look. The next point is to take the papers out and feel them and touch them, and pick the papers you like the feel of. Make sure you've got clean hands, I should say, when you're doing this. Because if you don't like the feel of a paper, you're not going to be printing on it. That will very quickly get you down to probably 5 or 6 papers. Really, realistically, what we want to do is get down to about 3 or 4 papers that we're using regularly, so we can learn how those papers react and things. The other thing to do is get value for money out of your packs as well. Either cut them down into A5s or A6s and do different test prints on them, or do different layouts and do the 4 images, say, of the different styles of photography you do. If you only do one style, then that's fine. Perhaps put 2 pictures on of a different scenes just to see which papers work best. Because if you only do one style of photography, you'll probably only need 1 or 2 possibly papers to actually choose from. So it's a little bit easier when you're thinking about that. But if you do quite a lot, like most of us do, then doing different subjects on a page and printing them, and then just having a compare and seeing which ones you like the look of. Now, textured, I did say I'd have a little tip for textured papers as well. Now, with textured papers, the big thing is to feel them and pick the ones you like the feel of. Now, when you're doing some tests, a couple of things to look for on textured papers is if you can see the texture coming through in your image, then I would say probably you shouldn't be using a textured paper because it's overtaking the image. The image should always be important and on top. So we just need to think about that and just be aware of it. But the best thing is just to try them, feel them as well. Best thing with textured papers and all papers, to be honest, is if we're at shows or anything, or we come to your camera clubs and things, is to actually just feel the papers and see which ones you like the feel of, because we've got loads of swatches and things, and you can touch and feel them all there. But test packs are a great way to dive in to choosing papers and actually start to have some fun with printing. If we're not too worried about getting that perfect print in a test pack, then we can actually start to have a bit of fun and try as well. Now, we do our own test packs, like I said, and I've talked quite a bit about them, but also don't forget Haarlemüller do a range of test packs as well, covering everything from their photo range to fine art glossies to fine art matte smooths and matte textures as well, and also their natural line. And also Canson do a discovery pack as well, which we also sell on our website. So have a look. We'll be doing a newsletter about this as well, so please sign up to that newsletter, and we'll probably have a bit of a discount on test packs in there as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But I hope that's given you an idea of, well, a few tips, I suppose, and a few kind of thoughts I've had about how to use test packs and the best way to get value for money out of them. Now, as always, please don't forget to subscribe to the Fotospeed YouTube channel. Just click that subscribe button. Also, keep an eye out for new videos every Thursday as well from myself and the Fotospeed team. And also, don't forget to download the Fotospeed Art of Printing, the free ebook from Fotospeed, covering everything from switching the printer on to framing to mounting to profiles, absolutely everything we've covered in there. Well, I think we have. I don't think there's anything we've missed. But also, don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter as well for exclusive discount codes and offers and new products and all the news basically from Fotospeed, because we've got some exciting news coming up in the next few months. So sign up to the newsletter so you don't miss anything. So until next Thursday, bye-bye.